Played like he was young with Spagnola again. What a performance.
Listen to him now. Listen to him imploring that team. Now, no wonder they want to call it Tampa Bay. For Tampa, Brady is just a...
What's up, Tampa Bay Buck fans? Just had to throw that out there for you because as of right now, that is the greatest blemish on Patrick Mahomes' career, and it's great to know that our Tampa Bay Buccaneers was the team to do it. And to this day, that still holds up as the worst beatdown Mahomes has ever had. And where else on the biggest, brightest stage? So just had to throw that out there, Bucks. We are the anomaly. Don't you forget that. Welcome to another episode of Bucs Report the Aftermath, 102.9 The Game, Broad Street South Radio. I hope you guys are doing great. AJ, turn up in the house. We got Coach Slick right here. Doesn't that bring back great memories, Slick?
Oh, man. As soon as I heard him play, I was like, going back. We're going back. I love it.
The simple fact that he was like, way to fucking go, I lost it. I was like, that was like the epitome of the GOAT status. And
have you ever seen the mic'd up version? So the whole game mic'd up with all the different people mic'd up. It's awesome because it's the whole game.
Oh, yeah.
The whole game. It's, you know, they usually just like when they do mic'd up, it's just the snippets. It's literally the game from start to finish with every play and everything like that. And the players reacting to everything. It's awesome. It's about 60 minutes long, but it's worth it.
No, I've seen it. I've seen it plenty of times. Sometimes I'll rewatch it. I'll watch some of the stories. Some of the best things that I like is when people they edited the commentators, the so-called media experts, and then the results afterwards. That was just a thing of beauty. That was the epitome of that is the last time that Mahomes ever knew what it was like to play, but also to play a game where it wasn't as, I'll say the word like monitored as it is in today. That was the last time we ever saw like a team in the Super Bowl where, man, look, officiating, did it help? No. It was just a straight up beatdown. And Mahomes is learning. He had to learn that the hard way that when Brady passed the torch, it was just to his other hand. He said, not yet, fast. And to me personally, he immortalized himself because Brady beat him not once, but twice and on two different teams. Two different conferences.
Yeah, well, I mean, we'll go into the GOAT conversation in just a bit, but I will say this: he's still to this day asked, "What's the worst game? Is there any game that kind of keep him up at night?" And he said, "Tampa Bay Buccaneers Super Bowl." Yes, even I think it was media day. He said that. I want to give a big shout out to Jameis Winston bossing it on media day. What a dude! Just completely owning his whole throwing W's around. I love that. I just think that guy's definitely found something that he can do, and they all seem generally pleased to talk to him. So I think he was just a little bit refreshing from the whole, and I think media days are going to get way more exciting now because you're going to have like the likes of Cam Newton, you have like the likes of potentially Jameis Winston, you have the likes of Button with the boys and all these other people who are a little bit more buttoned down, let the shirt hang out, and they're going to ask more fun questions rather than being too serious. We all know that we don't want the programmed answer like, if we get guys down on third down, then we tend to win the game. We don't want that. We want a bit more personality. So I'm quite happy with that.
I am too. I think Winston I like the fact that he can take jokes. He is very aware of what's being said about him, and he's exploiting it to his own gain. And I think that's a wonderful thing. People can say what they want. He still was a first-round pick. He still was an exciting player. He's still in the game. To be 10 years in the NFL, we've already said this before, that is an accomplishment by yourself. No matter how many teams you're on, 10 years in the league, Jameis Winston is a millionaire. He's a
I don't think anyone would turn around and say that if he could just cut his turnovers down, he would probably. That's the only thing that goes against him. It's not, it's just poor decision making. If he just he can throw the ball really well with such velocity. He's got that risk taker in him, but I think it's just a little too much. Like he's got too much risk in him.
Oh yeah, too much. If he could,
it's like risking no biscuit. He's like, fuck the biscuit. I'm risking everything.
Exactly. He is the ultimate, not even gunslinger, just ultimate, just automatic shooter. He is the epitome of a high volume shooter. For him, it's just I got to get it in there. But that is what it is. It is what it is. But I am happy for him. Very proud of him. I like the fact that he is keeping himself grounded. That's a hell of a way to do it. And look, he might be somewhere next year. But let's get into the conversation. I like that we're talking about this. Now, for me personally, anybody out there, after the Bucs lost, my passion of football went with it, but that doesn't mean my observation didn't go, because I still kept looking, still was reviewing. But at the end of the day, my season was over January when the Bucs lost, and it's still a very frustrating moment. But now we're here. If it comes to the Super Bowl, let's be real, for me, my only thing, I want to watch the fucking Kendrick thing. That's all I care about is the Kendrick Lamar Super Bowl. I want to hear him call Aubrey that pedophile person on a live stage. And that sets me up. But really, when it comes to, let's be real, nobody wants to see these two damn teams in the Super Bowl. Nobody wanted. Nobody wanted.
I think you could get away with one of them, but both of them is kind of like, ugh.
It's bullshit. Yeah, it's a bullshit. It's literally it's a shit sandwich.
Who do you hate more? That's what it comes down to, right?
Who do you hate more? Because for me, I'll say this. Now, here's the real question. Here's the real kicker. Which team actually earned their way into the Super Bowl? That's a controversial real question. And
I don't buy all the ref shit, to be honest, because I think in this day and age, I think you look at Tom Brady, he got away with a lot of stuff, and people used to think he was the biggest cheater on the planet. I think it's just what happens when you have so much success. There's a little bit of jealousy. And I think the more experienced quarterbacks, referees tend to call shit your way. Peyton Manning could get away with things. Remember when Cam Newton asked, well, you won't call it to a ref when they said they didn't call it, and you're not going to call that? And they turn around to him and say, you're not Tom Brady.
Yes, now I think that's fucked up, but at the same time,
it is. It shows like it's a little bit of a special boys club that you've got to earn your way into it. But it should never be like that.
And I think that's why football people are upset, because there are a lot of times now when it comes to Cam, though, once he said that he would not take back his MVP season for a Super Bowl.
Told you who he was.
Yeah,
he's a South dude. He's a South dude.
And I didn't, and I just sat back, and that made me feel some type of way. And I was like, all right, Cam.
I enjoy the content that he puts out, but and he's very honest. I respect the honesty that he had with it, but you could tell that this guy, he's like, I did everything I could, and we're all sat there going, there was a fumble that was right in front of you, dude. Like, you didn't do everything you could have done. You could have done better. That was your worst game of the season. You played very, very poorly in it. You can't say you did everything, but here's how I looked at it from what he said. You want to share that moment with your entire teammates that you've grinded with all year in, year out. That's why you trade the suit. That's why you trade the fucking MVP. The MVP means you were one of the better players you were considered the best player in the NFL at a single point. Not always the MVP wins the Super Bowl, right? That's quite common. It's not normal for the MVP to win the Super Bowl and then win Super Bowl MVP. That doesn't always happen. But I think you've got to look at it from a sense of, if someone said to you, you've got this, only you get this accolade. No one else gets it. It's not indicative of your teammates. You're the one who gets credited with it. You may sit there going, oh, well, I wouldn't have got this award if. Do you know how you could turn around and gratify your entire team with that award? By trading it for a fucking Super Bowl. Can you imagine the gratitude and that's camaraderie at its finest here. You look at the Dolphins; they meet up every year. That camaraderie is still not gone to celebrate when the last team falls in the NFL, so they can't be undefeated anymore. That's like a little club that you guys get to be a part of that no one else can take away from you when you've grinded and you sweated, you've worked all season for it, It's the ultimate. It's the ultimate. Like, we did it.
Yes, and also it's the ultimate. We were the best for the entire year, not just single person. The single person can be the best. There's been plenty of times where the best player on a team didn't do shit because one, there's been times where some of the best players don't even get in the playoffs. We're talking about your Joe Burrows of the world. Now you can blame all the other kind of shit on it, but at the end of the day, he was not in the dance.
I'm sure Aaron Rodgers would trade his.
Nah, not really. I think Aaron Rodgers.
Well, he's got so many, he could get away with trading at least half of them for Super Bowls.
I just think I think with his personality, him and Cam, I think Aaron and Cam are one and the same. The only difference is certain differences, but at the end of the day, if Aaron didn't have a Super Bowl, him and Cam would be in the same boat. I honestly think if Cam would have won the Super Bowl, that would have put him on such a legendary status because of what he was working with. He literally, Slick, would have been he would have finished a job that Allen Iverson couldn't have. And let me explain that. Taking a team with decent to mediocre talent at best on the offensive side and winning against
for sure. I mean, you do look at the talent on the offensive side of the ball. There was nothing there that was like blow your mind out. I think Greg Olsen was in his last years, or you might have already left.
Greg Olsen was in his last years. He had Ted Ginn Jr. as basically his number one guy. He didn't have anything much, and it's not like he had. Do you remember Jonathan Stewart and D'Angelo Williams?
Yeah,
he didn't have those guys. Those guys were not what. So
I think Mike Colbert instead.
Yeah, I think that would have been a bigger deal. That's why I compared the Iverson situation, because taking a team and putting them on your back, but Cam showed you who he is, Slick, and I think we all can agree. You're a selfish individual, and at the end of the day, that does tamper with what your analysis will be, because are you speaking from a football analysis or a selfish analysis? Because, well, I can see him saying, well, this guy should have did this because he would have got the glory. And while me and you, Slick, are saying, fuck the glory. We want the glory for the entire team. That's why we love Baker. Baker wants the glory for his team, not himself. If he gets, for Baker, a guy like Baker, for him and even Brady, getting personal accolades is the icing on the cake.
Remember also, the championships earned. The MVPs voted for.
That's right.
You can argue it's like the ultimate popularity contest. Yes, you have to have certain certain things you've done that season to put you in the category. It's not like they're just going to vote the most popular player, but they'll have like a handful, like 5 players, 4 players, even 3 players. It might be just the most popular one out of those.
100%.
It's not always the case, but it could come into a factor where there were 2 people that were really, really good. I can't remember who he was up against that year, to be honest. And it's kind of irrelevant anyway. But like I said before, these championships are earned. And I'm not saying he didn't earn an MVP. I'm just saying to get an MVP, you've got to play at a high level and people have got to vote for you.
People got to vote for you. And then
no one's voting for you to get your championship. That is completely 100% sweat and tears, us versus them mentality all the way through until you hoist the trophy.
That's right. That's right. And look, we got the dude that's ready to come in here and show his and pop off. Go ahead. Come on out and pop out, dude. We know you waiting.
All my diamonds shine, 'cause they really diamonds. Bad bitches in line, they be really trying. They ask me if I'm high, I say really. Got money on my mind.
Well, everybody's heard about the bird. The bird's a winner, bird is a winner.
Gentlemen.
What it do, dude?
Well, I want to touch on what you guys are talking about, the Cam Newton thing. Hey, Cam, we knew you valued MVPs over championships the moment you didn't dive on that fucking fumble in the Super Bowl, biatch. But that's not news to me. And Cam, dude, the Penguin and all the Marvel comic bad guys and all the James Bond movie bad guys want their outfit and hats back, bro. That said, hey, Jaguar, fan. We don't even play you, but you can't keep our name out your mouth, right? So, hey, Liam, I hear there's a good chin surgeon over there in Jacksonville. You might want to grow a chin because that profile, you looking like you might have, I don't know, been conceived by 2 third cousins or something.
Have you seen the gonky eyes? He's got like one eye slightly lower than the other one. It's got...
Well, I mean, when you're so full of shit, it starts to weigh down on you at some point, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Hey, we got the Super Bowl just a couple days away. I heard the talk about the referees and the Chiefs, and I'll just put it to you this way. When it's fans on social media crying about it, that's one thing. But when national media starts writing about it, when the Associated Press starts writing about it, when all the other quote-unquote blue check mark $8 chuckle fucks are writing about it, there has to be a little fire if there's smoke. Now, am I saying the referees are out here throwing games or any of that? No. What I'm saying is, and you'll see this on the side.
Things a certain way.
Well, you'll see this on the sideline with every game, and you'll hear them talk about it in the booth. The coaches and the players are working the referees, right?
Right.
And human nature is, if a guy, a coach, a player is continually sucking you off and asking you to do something, at some point you might subconsciously do it even if it wasn't justified or warranted. So while I don't think there's a grand conspiracy, an evil cabal, an axis of evil pulling strings and making the referees do these things, I will say 2 things. One, an NFL referee is not a full-time job. That's complete horseshit. Second, if Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid are that good at working the referees, then I think we need to start factoring that into our quarterback and head coach evaluations. Because I've seen the stats, I've seen the data on it, and it is alarming how much they get bailed out, and not just the volume of calls they get, the crucial moments that it always goes in their favor. That said, I don't look good in tinfoil, so I'm not going to go too far down that rabbit hole. But I wanted to jump on, first of all, say, hey, first, it's been a long time since we've been on. Feels like a couple months, but it's only been a week or so. Bucs fans, Buccaneers brought in a familiar face today to coach their defensive line, Charlie Strong. You might know him from Texas. You might know him from the University of South Florida. We all know him here in Tallahassee as, oh, God. I think it's a strong hire for the Buccaneers. Good character guy, a great coach, not a great head coach, great position coach, not a great recruiter. So I think he found a good home here. Congratulations, Charlie Strong and your family. Welcome to Tampa. If you get an offer for a raise, be truthful and don't be a bitch. Okay? Just saying. AJ, so glad to see you, bro. You look like you might be a little cold up there, man. Is it cold up your way?
Oh, you know, dropping back down to the 30s and 20s. It's a lot of reasons why it's cold up here.
But we ain't going down that fucking rabbit hole.
Yeah, exactly.
Slick, you're back in the coaching saddle again, man. Preparing, getting all your ducks in a row, for lack of a better expression. I know you got either a new team name, color, or all of that coming up to be announced soon. I don't know if it already has, but when it has, bring that shit on here. Let's check out the swag, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, for us, it's gonna be it's a soft rebrand, but it'll take some time to go through. But the colors are already gonna we're gonna follow the Black Country, which is the area that we live in. It's a flag with red, white, and black on it with iron linked chains.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's where the original iron workers worked and built, like Mason worked in. You know, that's why we basically got a guy with a hammer slamming a fucking anvil as our thing, because that's what it was, a working man's area.
I thought you guys were just big fans of MC Hammer.
We like to bring down a hammer, baby.
No? Okay.
Look, why don't you just have them channel that energy over to Todd Bowles, because I think he needs to be reminded what nailing something is like. That's just
well, I'll say this. Todd Bowles has definitely been nailing that fucking cafeteria at One Bug Place. Holy fuck.
Big, isn't he?
Bro, when he got hired in 2019, I was like, he might be able to play edge rusher for a couple downs. Now, motherfucker looked like he ate the defensive line. Like everybody's like, hey, Vea lost 20 pounds. I found it.
Yeah, Bowles, it's like we need you to get hungry. Well, not even hungry anymore. We need you to look. Don't be the bowels. Look, if you're gonna have them Bowles out there, just by all means, just be fucking aggressive. Be aggressive. And we got a lot of things going on.
Hey, Bowles, if you need help losing weight, let me introduce you to Little Mr. Finger you stick down your throat. Oh, wait, that's a whole nother topic, another show. Shout out to the Buccaneers media, especially people like Jenna Lane, and I guess we could call Fitzpatrick part of the Buccaneers media since he's a former Buck, but especially to general manager Jason Light. Yardline Yoda is out here, a Twitter account. Yeah, it's Twitter. Fuck your ex. Talking about, I've got news sources telling me that the reason that Mike Greenberg pulled out was because Jason Light threatened him and intimidated him and all this. And that's why he pulled out the Jaguars nomination or job consideration. Of course, Jason Light came in and clowned him. Of course, Fitzpatrick responded and clowned him. But this is where we are in social media and the world.
What the fuck is this? Say this again. Sorry, I'm just hearing about this.
Yeah, well, first of all, you can check it out on bucksreport.com. I'll send you a link. Long story short, some Twitter account with a blue check mark, so you know what that means. He spends $8 a month and gives it to a billionaire so he can feel important. Put out that he has sources within Jaguars organization that the reason Mike Greenberg took his name from consideration was because Jason Light was bullying Greenberg and threatened him that if you take this job, you'll never work in this league again if it doesn't work out for you.
Now, notice this, Slick. Notice how the fucking narrative has changed. When Cohen did that backhand bullshit to us, it's business, guys. That's how it's supposed to be. You know, people do this all the time. Now that the Bucs are doing business the right way, and we have a right to block people, the Bucs are being bitter. Which one is it? This is
exactly. And to be clear, the Bucs gave Greenberg permission for the interview. Greenberg took, I believe, an initial what do they call it? Not viral video. Virtual interview, and said, "Fuck that shit. I'm done. I'm out."
And besides, nobody wants to go to musty ass Jacksonville. I'm so
sorry.
I mean,
what have you heard? Hey, you've been to Jacksonville. I don't think Slick's been to Jacksonville. By the way, don't bother. Dude, if you want to go to Jacksonville, go find you a swamp and dig the mud up where it starts to smell, and boom, you're in Jacksonville.
Yep, pretty much.
When the biggest thing from your city is Limp Bizkit, come on, bro.
Exactly.
But I want to shout out to the fact that they pushed back and spoke truth to power, and yet because of the state that we are in social media, this chucklehead named Yardline Yoda or some shit like that. I'll send you the link. It's pretty funny.
You can't put your own fucking name. You lose all credibility. It's like arguing with somebody who doesn't have a Facebook photo.
Well, this idiot's using the fact that...
You're like, dude, I'm not taking you seriously. You can't even put your own face on. You're not allowed to argue with me.
Well, that's the thing. And the way people have changed their perception of reality. So the general manager of the Bucs come on and laughs at you with emojis. Ryan Fitzpatrick comes on and trolls you. And this dude uses, look, they wouldn't be responding if I wasn't touching a nerve. No, idiot. They're literally laughing at you. Okay, but Jaguar fans like, yeah, you were on to something, bro. The Buccaneers are shady as hell. Meanwhile, you're staking your entire reputation, all this smack talk, all this, we're going to the Super Bowl, we've turned the corner on a motherfucker that still, regardless of whether his kid is sick or not, invoked his child into the adult conversation about a job because he couldn't answer the fucking question honestly. And this is the guy that you think is going to do better than not one, not two, but 3 championship coaches you've had in your organization, and you haven't won dick. In fact, I don't think you've ever won a playoff game. And if you have, it's been 10 plus 15 years ago. Meanwhile, your entire organization has 4 playoff appearances, which the Bucs have matched the last 4 years. So, Jaguar fan, congratulations, but sit the fuck down. Shut the fuck up and know your fucking role. Until you can put a ring in front of my face, the only thing you are to me is a bunch of musty, dusty, swamp-dwelling, inbreeding, sister-cousin fucking piece of shit people. Jaguars, there's no fucking Jaguars in Florida. There's Jaguars in the northern part of the United States, but there was no fucking Jaguars in Florida. There was a Panther, but you didn't get the Panthers, did you? You chose Jaguar. And by the way, when your owner looks like a fucking Temu version of fucking Ringling brother P.T. Barnum with that fucking mustache. Hey, Shad, your mustache looks like you want to give fucking Freddie Mercury a mustache ride. Hey, Shad, you look like you should be walking the streets of San Francisco in booty shorts, bro. You got a mustache. Do you realize what a grown man like me looks at another man with a handlebar mustache? You've got a handlebar above your fucking mouth, bro. Think about what the fuck we would do with that. What would that possibly be for? Okay, it's an aiming mechanism. It's for so I can get total leverage and put these nuts all the way down the back of your fucking throat. Jaguar fan, you are what you are.
A 4-13,
a below mid-level franchise that desperately wants to exist in London, that desperately wants to be relevant. You're the third best NFL franchise in the state of Florida. The state of Florida, the football powerhouse, where the majority of NFL players of any substance or Hall of Fame worthy careers come from. You are in a state where the most northeastern part of Florida, which is where you are, no one wakes up and says, oh, my name is Slick and I'm in the UK and I'm going to save up money for 3 years so I can take my family to fucking Jacksonville. What the fuck is there to do in Jacksonville, bro? Hey, we're going to go to the Golden Corral and I get all you can eat shrimp buffet with a chocolate fondue fountain. That's what the fuck you guys are. You're a chocolate fondue fucking fountain on the Vegas Strip that people go by and fucking hock a loogie in. So Jacksonville, hey, you got a swimming pool in your fucking stadium, but you're a cesspool of an organization.
Bars, mic drop. You were 4-13, and you are arguably the third best team. Not in just you are the third best team in Florida, but you're arguably the third best team in your own division, the AFC South, which is the true ass division. The only team there is the Texans and the Titans, Colts. Hell, I'll say it. Jaguars, no, you're the fourth best team right now. Titans actually have somewhere to go. Trevor Lawrence, a.k.a. Sunshine, ain't it. Brian Smith, the wide receiver, 1,200 yards. Like last time I checked, that really ain't shit. 10 touchdowns, that's cool. But we'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens. Hey, look, they're allowed to have one good player. Every team's got him. Every team's got him. It don't mean nothing. You got to have the quarterback to win. You have the defense to finish. You got the defense to hold that fucking score. So
have the
none of that. It's a complete rebuild over there. They don't know what the fucking do. Look, they make fucking a quarter of their revenue on one game in London because no fucker attends Everbank fucking field.
There you go, Jackson.
They have to rely on us people in the UK going, oh, we get to see somebody versus Jacksonville. And that's who we go to see. We see the other team. And they sell out because everyone's like, they're playing the Ravens. Let's go and fucking see the Ravens. No one's going, let's go see Jacksonville. No one's saying it's that team that's playing them that people want to see. That's why they do everything they can to come here. And they're the ones that bring the good teams to the UK. Because we've always had the poisoned apple, so to speak, because no good teams don't want to come here. Nope. Right? If you change yours, because it's a pain in the ass. It's just a pain in the ass to come here. And I get that. And whoever I think it's the Rams, they're going to fucking Melbourne. Fuck that shit. A 19-hour fucking plane ride. Fuck that shit. They'll be playing at 10 a.m. It'll be like fucking. It'll be like nighttime for you guys.
There you go. And again, like you said, when you have to come over here, that's to show how sorry you are. And usually they will put a good team to beat up on your asses. It'd be like that. Again, Jacksonville, you have to do something first. Get to a Super Bowl first. No, fuck that. Get to 500 next season. You were 4-13 this year. You got a long ways to go.
It's 0-17 after that fucking Duval fucking shout, man.
It's like, ooh, no.
Well, and the thing is, to defend Liam Cohen here for a second. Yeah, that's not what I'm going to do. But anyway, Liam, it's not weird that you moved to Jacksonville and, arguably one of the opioid abusing capitals of the state of Florida, which is opioid heaven. And you're out here in the press conference going, Duval. Bro, are we going to see you standing on the side of road in the fucking zombie position, slouched over, standing up, with slobbering on the ground? Because your chin's not going to hold it back. Your backbone isn't going to hold it back. Your character isn't going to hold it back. What we're going to find out here.
His wife's going to hold it back for him.
Yeah, your wife's going to speak. Dude, your wife was speaking for you on social media.
Because you're a
pussy.
Man.
You're a pussy. And I know the people in the comments section on social media, hey, that guy on the screen, he's real tough behind the keyboard. Motherfucker, I got some frequent flyer miles I'll send you and bring your ass right on down. I'll even drive you from the fucking airport, buy you lunch before I put a foot to the ass. I don't give a fuck about your social media, but here's what I do give a fuck about. If you're going to cry and you're going to act big and bad, expect us to treat you like a bitch. If you're going to act tough, expect us to flex back at you. If you're going to act dumb, expect me to call you out by name. Yard Line Yoda. If you don't like it, my DMs are open at Bucs Report on every social media platform. You can email us at bucksreport2017@gmail.com. We will respond. I actually checked the spam folder. You know why? Because spam is fucking delicious. With that said, AJ and Slick, I know you guys got a lot of shit to get off your chest, and I'm sure you guys got other things to do. So I wanted to jump on here mainly to say fuck you, Jacksonville. But also congratulate Charlie Strong. I think that's an underrated hire. Like I said, great fucking coach, horrible head coach. Sound familiar, guys? That would be what the Buccaneers are dealing with at the top of the coaching tree right now. But anyway, Todd Bowles, this is your year, bro. It's not Super Bowl or bust. It's Super Bowl or fired. I'm going to get out of here, guys. I appreciate the time. I appreciate the vine. Make sure anybody checks it out, bucksreport.com. Check out Bucs Report across social media. It's real simple. If you click on it, a social media account that says Bucs Report, and it's not bullshit, that's us.
My man, dude ain't scared to be rude. And before we get to Todd Bowles and his situations, we're going to just gloss over this Super Bowl thing. So, again, I ask you, in your opinion, Slick, do you think if Mahomes pulls off the something that's never been done, 3 straight Super Bowls, are we putting him in the category GOAT with Tom Brady?
I think he gets in the conversation. I don't think he's there yet.
Okay.
Because, and I say this, and this is the thing that does go against him, he's lost twice to the guy that he's chasing, right? And that's not good when you're comparing the two together. Like, well, could he go on and be the GOAT? It's very possible, but we've also got to see a lot of other shit that's got to go down, right? Yeah. We've got to see how he handles losing Travis Kelce, because that guy is older than him. He won't continue to play forever. Coach Reid will probably quit coaching at some point. Now, I think he's still got years left in him. It's just whether he wants the stress. You know what people's family lives are like. So, he's already had like 2 kids arrested on DUIs and killing people. So,
yep,
he may be too stressed and just want to spend time with the grandbabies. I don't know, but that will be a test of what he can do. Can he survive those big changes? Tom Brady didn't have Gronk to begin with in his career. He didn't have as much talent, and he's had to work with people like Danny Amendola, the
Julian
Edelmans of the world, and got the job done. And I think he's starting to do that, because you can see that his wide receiving core is dead as a doornail. Like, they got an aged DeAndre Hopkins, who isn't the DeAndre Hopkins that was playing in Texas, so at Houston. So it is what it is. I don't think it makes him a GOAT. I think he is definitely in the conversation going, this guy's really nipping at the heels now, because he's 4, 5, 6 years into his career, and he would have had 4 Super Bowls, and on top of that, a repeat, which has never been done. So it gives him a lot of clout to get him in that conversation. But even I don't think he thinks he's the GOAT yet, because you want to be on par with someone. I've done this one thing that he hasn't done. but I also need to get 7 Super Bowls too.
That's right. That's right. He got, even if he wins, you got 4 more Super Bowls to go. The simple fact that you got beat twice by the GOAT in 2 different conferences, not
Wasn't the main game.
Yeah,
Embarrassed in the main game.
Embarrassed in
That
the main
That
game.
was Tom Brady. That was the defense.
It was the defense, but even with that, Tom Brady still shredded your defense, your team.
Oh yeah.
So in a way, it's like, no, I beat you across the board because you couldn't get it done. Now, here's another reason. People are jumping the gun. He is not past Joe Montana yet. Absolutely not. One thing, and yes, I'm going there, Slick. I'm going there, and I don't give a fuck what nobody has to say. The era of football does fucking count because it does matter. When you played in an era, that's why we love Brady. Brady played in all eras of the football and dominated from the brutality of the early 2000s to the balance of it in the early 2010s, and then to where it became finesse. I just do not see Mahomes in the way of his character and his reaction, how he plays now. I don't honestly think, Slick, that he would have made it in 2005 NFL the way he bitches and complains. And the level of difficultness was so much harder back then because we've said this before. You had to be able to run the ball and throw back in the day. Now it's more of a passing league. So run
to keep him honest, and
yes,
keep trying to set that pass.
Yes, and the big thing that we're saying that dude said, it's the controversy surrounding it. It's the simple fact that throughout this entire season, Slick, there have been too many calls that just happen to go their way. Now, we're not saying that it's a big conspiracy, but you know this, Slick. In football, it's about momentum and challenges. When you take away a certain momentum, you're favoring another team. The Texan game, when they played, Mahomes didn't get touched, and yet they still called a penalty. That shifted the entire momentum. Now, I'm not saying that single-handedly destroyed it, but it's too many times where Mahomes gets a pass, and then I don't like the way he bitches and complains. So you want to pump your chest out like you're a tough guy, but as soon as somebody taps you, he was bitching in the Super Bowl when we was kicking his ass, Slick. When he got sacked and Sue barely tapped his helmet, he gets up like this. It's like, bro, you were on the ground by then. Stop.
I think a penalty that needs to come in is flailing around.
I agree. I think
it will stop the shit dead because Mahomes is starting to become the first. We have you watch soccer. There's diving in soccer, right? Where a guy gets clipped and he does a fucking cartwheel.
Yep,
it's fucking comical, right? It's fucking. They just look. You can't understand how, like, when you've played football, and I play rugby and I play football as well. You do your darndest to stay on your feet, right? Yeah. Guys are grabbing hold of you, pulling you down, and you're trying to stay on your feet to shrug up guys off and continue to gain momentum forward. Football players get tapped on the shoulder, and it's like someone shot them with a fucking 12-gauge shotgun. And I'm talking about soccer players here.
Yeah.
He's starting to do that kind of thing, and it happened in rugby. There was a guy called Brian Abana, South African winger, who would do it anytime someone touched him. He'd literally throw his body high into the sky so he'd land harder on the ground, and it sometimes would get a penalty his way or what have you, which would change possession. In rugby, that's how it works. Or it would advance you further up the field. So he would do this, and then one referee just went, "No, yellow card for you, out." It's 10 minutes. It's 10 minutes. Sit out the game. Red card's completely out the game. Yellow card's 10 minutes. Sit out. So the team's down a player for 10 minutes. Something like that. A flag needs to be put on for people who aren't getting fucking injured. I don't know what the terminology they'll call it because
I would use
unnecessary twatting about.
Unsportsmanlike conduct, because now you're deceiving in a way, that's cheating. Technically, that's cheating.
Yes. Unsportsmanlike conduct.
So unsportsmanlike conduct, you should call that on
standing vagina.
Yeah, exactly. Being a bitch, 15-yard penalty. Because here is the thing, Slick. You know,
Because they will stop it dead. As soon as you enforce that shit, it will never happen again. But the problem is, other quarterbacks and other players are looking at this going, I might try this. And it becomes a trend. And if you don't book it now, it'll continue.
But this is why I think you're on to something, Slick, because here's another theory and a hunch that I got. And if it happens, Slick, I would literally do a handstand and a cartwheel because I would love this shit because that would create a trend. There's going to be teams and players where they say, you know what? You're going to if you're going to penalize me for something, I'm going to give you a fucking reason on why to penalize it. So there's going to be a guy out there, Slick, that, hey, look, guys, if I hit this motherfucker, just pay for my fines and my suspensions.
Hey, we had it in our own team.
Yes.
My defensive coordinator, head coach Ben Melbourne, the dude, I love, well, he's not the dude, but our dude, he always said to the defensive line, if you get called for encroachment or defensive offside, just go and hit the fucking quarterback because you don't give them the free play. Because it makes no difference. The penalty's already happened. So you may as well go and fucking hit a guy.
Agreed. That's what I'm saying. And Slick, that's what I think is going to happen. And I don't want it to happen, but it will, because it will frustrate defensive players. It will frustrate coaches. It will frustrate the fans, and it will frustrate the game where people are deliberately Slick. They said it on TV. I do not agree with this. This is getting ridiculous. When you got a guy like Mahomes that is literally, like you said, flailing on the sideline, that's where I, as a coach,
I mean, you can start putting asterisks next to the Super Bowls, right? Because the other ones we won't argue with, right? We won't argue with the other ones, but this one could have an asterisk next to it.
Say that again. Say what asterisk? When you have to put an asterisk sign your legacy, that's a fucked up thing, and that's what I'm saying. When it comes to the Joe Montana, Slick, ask anybody who over here. Joe Montana, there's never been a game where it was questioned. If anything, Joe Montana blew motherfuckers out. And it wasn't just because of Jerry Rice. He was kicking ass before Jerry Rice was even in the league. People forget Joe was in the 70s and played up until the 90s. And and mind you, he took the Chiefs to an AFC title. So that's my thing. You're right on this. What if Andy Reid retires after this year? Let's say, unfortunately, the Chiefs do fucking win. Now he retires. I love, because Stephen A. Smith said this. He was right and wrong at the same time. He said, people forget Brady didn't win until 10 years later after his Super Bowl. That's right. We don't know what Mahomes is going to be like within 10 years down the line. Slick, what happens if he gets this three-peat?
What if he doesn't get the right coach?
What if he gets the wrong coach? What if he doesn't get the right drafted players? Okay, I love that we're talking about this, because let's say he spends another 12 years in the league, Slick. And
I'll have it said here. I don't dislike Patrick Mahomes. He seems like a decent dude. I don't actually have a problem with it. He annoys me on game day because of, like you said, the mouthing off and what have you. But he seems like a decent, like watching documentaries with him and stuff. He seems like a pretty well-oiled, decent dude. I don't particularly like his kids' names. I think they're fucking stupid, but it's not up to me. Yeah. I don't name people's kids, so I'll get over it quite quickly. But look, here's the thing with him. He's clearly talented, and I would be surprised if he struggled after. I don't think he might not be as good, like as in what you're getting right now.
Yes,
there'll be like a downtick, but I still think he'll be one of the top quarterbacks in the league. I don't think he'll ever that.
100%. But here's the beautiful thing about the NFL.
He might end up being a Josh Allen and not a Patrick Mahomes.
Right. Well, I like that we're talking about the Josh Allen. Remember, other teams in the AFC have quarterbacks that are going to get better with better teams. If the Bengals are fucking smart, they're going to help Joe Burrow get not only a line, but a defense. We know the Ravens are going to come back with a vengeance. We know the Bills are going to come back with a vengeance. We know the Texans are probably going to get better. So that's why I think it's going to be so much after this season, especially if Andy Reid retires. It's going to be a different ball game. Like you said, if Kelsey retires, now you have to start from scratch. Now you got to build a repertoire with other people. That's what Brady had to go through.
I'm telling you, if they win the Super Bowl, D-Hop's gone. He's done. He's done what he needed to do, because he'll have a chip where he massively contributed to it. Because a lot of these guys, like I think LaShawn McCoy's got two, one with them and one with them and one with us.
Yes,
he didn't really contribute in either of those teams.
Yeah, nobody. That's an asterisk for him.
That's what I mean. So it's like it's all well and good saying I got all these yards, I did all these great things. Oh man, you were an absolute fucking baller, yeah. And I got 2 Super Bowl rings. Cool, man. That's awesome. How much you play in the Super? How did you do in the Super Bowl? I didn't play.
Right. And he's
See what I mean? It doesn't make a difference. You know, when people go Super Bowl ring chasing, unless you're a starter or a big cog on that team, it doesn't count.
Yeah, and mind you, Slick, he's a fucking idiot. So he really doesn't count. But I agree with what you're saying. But I do think that the level of competition, the asterisks, certain things you have to apply all those. Now I know people say, well, it's not fair. He can't help that. To a certain extent, you can, because we just explained it. We don't like him on game day bitching, talking shit, but then when he gets tapped, he falls down. That's not football.
That shit goes in, I'll never be a fan of that because you're diluting the game. The game's meant to be physical.
Mm-hmm.
You had guys like your Tom Brady would occasionally do it. I've seen Aaron Rodgers do it, and I've definitely seen a fair few times Peyton Manning do it. If someone's going to hit them, what do?
They fall down.
They go right to the floor. It looks soft, it looks weak, but they're not like crying or anything like that. I just don't want to get fucking hit because I've got another down to play.
Right, but they're doing smart, not bitching about it. But see, that's why.
Don't get me wrong. I'm pretty sure if someone accidentally knocks into them and all this, they all get heated, right? We've all seen quarterbacks when they get a bit of a clip or because at the end of the day, and this is just truth in general. If you feel like you've been slighted and it's wrong, you'll complain to the referee. The problem is, and I think the dude touched on this as well, is when the referees are giving you the benefit of the doubt, you'll start to take the piss with it. You know what I mean? You'll start to go on almost everything because you might just get one. Even if you don't get 100% of them, you only need like 110% that's needed when you need it.
Yeah,
and it works.
It becomes an entitlement and a mindset because the simple fact that Kelsey was being a little bitching about it. You know why? I want to say motherfucker because people are seeing it. They're not fucking dumb. We see what happens when you guys do something. All of a sudden, Taylor Swift is up there like she's the GM. Nothing against Taylor on that, but we're getting tired of that shit. Now let's switch to the other side because again, it's another dipshit, pissy ass, shitty, musty, dusty, crusty, booty sauce, rump shaking, nasty, sorry excuse of an organization in the fucking Philadelphia Weasels. I don't even want to call them the Eagles. They're fucking weasels. And they're
the crazy thing about Casey is before all this happened, they were actually a really likable franchise.
Yes.
They were that slightly overachieving for what they were. I'm going back to like the Jamal Charles years, the Eric Berrys. They were a team that you enjoyed to watch play the game of football, and that was even with Coach Reed. And it just feels like they've had so much shine that they've become a little bit egotistical.
Oh, absolutely. They were egotistical when they played us in the Super Bowl, and we tapped that and we bumped that ass. But I'm talking about the Philadelphia, the shitty cheese steak nasty ass Eagles. Because the thing is, I don't want them to win either. Because I can't. Their fans, Philadelphia, don't deserve a fucking championship because they're dickheads as well. The only person that I got love for on that team and I can respect is our boy, our running back, Saquon Barkley, because of what he has been through. Guys, if you haven't checked it out, me and Coach Slick has dissected the fuck ups of the Giants so bad they should make a documentary about it on Netflix because we've broken that down. But we're gonna talk about the Eagles.
Me and you, we broke that shit down, and Giants. But at the end of the day, it worked out for him, and that's all that matters.
And exactly,
I felt a little bad for him because he didn't get to finish off this the season with the cherry, with that the most yards. He should have had a shot at that. He should have definitely had a shot. They should have said, "Look, you've got till halftime."
Agreed. You have until halftime, and it's the sorry ass Giants.
Mike Evans said, "You can't pass up history," and I can't believe the Philadelphia Eagles sat him for that last game of the season where he could have got it.
He could have gotten it, but again, at the end of the day, if they were to win something, it would be he's the MVP. He's the engine of this team because we got another quarterback in Jalen Hurts, Slick, that has to prove that he can be an elite quarterback.
And we saw what he was like when he didn't have nothing, and what was he like when he had nothing? He was nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Remember when we absolutely fucking whooped that ass? That ass was so red it glowed.
Yeah. Oh yes, it was like this. Somebody was like, "Is somebody fucking in there?" Yeah, yeah. It's these cheeks in the clap. Oh yeah, poor Jalen. It hurts, don't it? Yeah. So and look, like you said, it's not only that. People forget the Bucs have tapped that ass twice in the playoffs under Brady and then under Baker. So we are aware of who he is. So that with that being said, he's got to show me something. If they lose because of Hurts, I don't never want to hear anybody say
they lost because of Hurts last time because he kept on trying to go on a fucking journey.
Yep.
It won't work in the Super Bowl. The defenses are too good.
The defenses are
you
too
can get
good.
away with it like in an opportunistic time. Like you just and he did. He had moments where he scored touchdowns and he took opportunities. The problem was he was like when you it's a bit like being greedy, right?
Right.
You got a cookie, you went, this fucking cookie's great. I want another one. Oh, I got another cookie. Eventually, someone's going to slam that fucking jar lid on your hand, and you go, ow, fucking hell. And that's what happened. You guys hand caught going in the cookie jar because he kept on going to what he knew that was working. And I don't blame him for it, but at the same time, you need to show versatility because that shit does not work in the Super Bowl. If you'd not shown that all the way through the Super Bowl and you're deep in the fourth quarter and then you've shown that, they would have no answer because you've not shown your hand yet.
Right.
You got to remember, we're playing chess right now, and you've just shown off your best move. Your best move is you're mobile and you can run around. And then you coughed up the fucking ball. Is it twice in that game?
Yes. Well, the problem is, like you said, Hurts plays running back too much instead of playing the quarterback. But here's another thing, Slick, that we got to talk about. You have the entire better overall fucking team. You have.
I mean, that team is loaded.
They're loaded. So you just said it, Slick.
Have they got better wide receivers? Yes. Do they have better tight ends? No.
No.
Do they have a better line?
Yes.
Yes. Do they have the better quarterback? Arguable. I'd say no, but whatever. Do they have the better running back? Yes.
By fucking far. Defense, right? I'm going to say
they have a better defensive line.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Yeah, I would say almost
linebackers, DBs,
but their front line is official. But
I'd say that DBs and their linebackers are probably on par with what's over in KC.
Yeah. So, but now Hurts, you got to utilize your talent. You got to utilize everybody.
Yeah. So they only have two. The KC only has, in my opinion, two parts of their team that is better than Philly, and that is the quarterback and the tight end. So you nullify the tight end. Who's he going to throw to?
Oh, 100%. But this is why. Here's another thing too. Don't just use Saquon as a fucking battering ram or feed him the ball like that. Use him the way the 49ers use McCaffrey. If I'm the Eagles, okay, Barkley, you're not only just going to be running. We're going to set you up with screen passes. We're going to set you out here.
I'm going to motion him out to empty as well, from it out into empty, and put him in the nasty slot position.
Yep.
Just completely fuck around. Let them fucking find out.
Roll out.
These little unders and have loads of fucking shit moving over the top. I tell you what I really like, AJ. 2 crosses on one side, motion him out, and get him to go underneath the crosses.
Exactly. Same. I'm with you. With Deontay Smith with his speed, a crossing route, have AJ Brown and Goddard run a straight go route because they're big bodies. So you got to take it away. So that is because that's
going to make the inside backers have got to flow and they've got to go deep.
Exactly. And they don't have good coverage.
Someone underneath and just arcs up, and once Saquon's going.
There you go. So again, it's really the Eagles' game to win, and the Chiefs, because offensively, if I am the Eagles, you get up quick. That's how you have to beat Chiefs
and starve it. You got the running back, right? So you can starve Mahomes with the ball.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what I would say: early on, run the ball. Don't be afraid to pass to keep them honest and what have you. But you want to run the ball, keep them honest. Run the ball, just fucking milk that clock. So when he goes on, he has to be perfect.
Yep, 100%. I love it.
Hey, the fucking Washington football, whatever, the Commodores. They did it to us. They starved us of the ball.
Yep. And they
It worked because it means you have to play perfect. You can't make a mistake, otherwise you're shit. We're back to the drawing board. Oh fuck, we're in the third quarter. We may only be down by 7, but down by 14, which isn't a lot, but we're rarely getting the ball.
Exactly. I agree with you 100%. So either way, I hope it's a good game, but fuck both of y'all, Eagles and Chiefs. We're all about Kendrick over here. Team Kendrick. Kendrick for the win. But let's get down to what I want to talk about, because I want you to put on your GM cap, Slick. We're going to talk about this in certain situations. We're rushing to get the rusher. So I'm going to give you 3 names. The first one, you tell me what you're willing to give up for him. All right. The hottest commodity right now, Myles Garrett. Go. What are you doing with the GM?
2 first, a player. I'll probably give Rashad White. I've seen that one banded around, but definitely 2 first. I'll happily give something else from next year. Maybe not 2nd, maybe not 3rd, definitely a 4th. Might scrape into a 3rd round next year. Now, the one thing I will say about this, because I just want to touch on this, is a lot of people going around, they wouldn't give it 2 firsts. And I said to them, what the fuck do you think you're going to get with a fucking 19th overall that's going to play like he does? And they'll go, yeah, but he costs so much money. I get that. I totally get where you're coming from. You are not going to draft someone who plays remotely to his level. You're not. It's not going to happen. That's why 2 first-round picks. I'll take it right now, easy. 2 first rounds and a 2nd from next year, maybe. 2 first rounds and a 3rd from next year. I'm done. I'm there. They can have Rashad. They can have Rashad White as well, because I think they need a running back.
Oh, 100%. I like that. I was gonna say 2 first and a 4th, and either Rashad or
that's where I'd like to. That's where I'd like to go. That's where I'd like to go. But I'd give up the 3rd if I had to.
Yeah, and I think I feel you. I think we can get away with because I think we can get away with the 4th, because giving Rashad or Sean Tucker to them, that would sweeten the deal. But I am with you. For people out there, for Buck fans, we're at 19. It'd be different if the Bucs were like the.
What happens if we go to the playoffs again? It's going to be another 19, or if we do well in the playoffs, it could be even less. We could be at fucking 25. We could be at fucking 31. We could be at fucking 32. I'm not saying we'll win the Super Bowl. Please don't put that on me yet. But my point being is, it's going to go. If we're expecting this team to play better, which we all are.
Yep.
Why on earth you sat there going, well, we need to hold on to our picks? Right, Bucs fans, picks aren't your daughters. Don't worry, they're not going to get defiled. Just get the fucking player. I'm telling you right now, you get someone like Myles Garrett and some of the other guys that me and AJ are going to go through. You get one of these guys in, your defensive structure is going to change, because you have to account for that guy. And not only this, what do you all hate? You hate how we get burnt in coverage. You hate. You can't get burnt in coverage if you've got a guy running down your fucking throat who's ready to take your face off. We haven't had that in such a long time, since the Shaq Barrett days of when he was good and the JPP days. 2022 was probably the last time we had an effective, nasty-ass pass rush.
I like that word, effective, guys. There's a difference between effective and dominant. The last time we were dominant was 2021. That's been 3 years now, guys. That in the NFL, that's a long damn time now. And he's right. So in a guy like this is Myles Garrett in the prime of his years. I think people are acting like this, like they thinking that Myles is like 33 or something. I'm like, no, he's 29. He just turned 29.
Minimum 5 years left in him. That's the contract. You're going to sign him to a contract.
I'd say he got 3 prime years left. 3 prime years.
You're going to sign him to a contract. That contract could be what? 4 years?
Yep, 4 years. And
then you're going to option to get out of it. And everyone's like, oh, yeah, but I don't want to lose draft picks. You're not going to draft anybody. The kind of guys you're going to get, realistically, are good safeties. Good to start. You're going to get yourself a starting safety, a starting back, a starter in a lot of positions, but I don't think they'll be elite. If you're smart and you do the right thing, you might be able to get someone to replace Levante David in the first round. You might be able to. You might be able to get somebody who could replace Jamal Dean. You might get somebody who can play legit next to Winfield, but you won't get him. That's what I'm saying. And I'm willing to forgo 2 rounds of draft picks because we do most of our dirty work in the second and third anyway.
Exactly. And also, guys,
remind me, how good have the last 2 first-round picks been?
Not that good, to be quite honest. I mean, they've been okay. Canty is
Canty's probably the best one in a while. And the thing is, we've been picking high all the time.
Right. Right. And I like this, Slick. Also, a guy like Miles also doesn't it also takes off the wear and tear of your stars. Now, imagine Myles Garrett next to Vita Vea. Now, and mind you, we already seen what Vita and Canty can do together. Myles Garrett could be that piece now where defenses go, shit.
Logan Hall's been stepping.
Right. And now your depth pieces can do more, can be more effective. Again, Slick, this is why we're telling you, Buck fans, this is why we're saying you do give it up. You do, because Bowles, we just said this, Bowles, this is a firing season now. This is your last chance. You better swing for the fucking fences. If you don't, you failed. So let's get off of that now. Put on your GM hat again now. All right, number two, Max Crosby. Where you going, GM Slick?
I give up more. There's more upside. I give up more. I give up more because I just think that guy's got a nastiness to it. I'm not saying Myles Garrett hasn't. There's something about that guy. I don't know what it is, but he is special. I think he'd be harder to get hold of because he's not said that he wants to leave yet. I've not really seen that. There's no big public thing. I think you'd have to go 2 firsts and a second.
I think so too. I think you'd have to give him 2 firsts, a second, and you still.
But I'd want those the first and the first and the second from next year, not this year.
I think honestly, I would if we could get him, and he's only 26 years old, so he is in the super prime of his years. He hasn't even scratched the full surface yet. So you do that, and Raiders need another running back too. They need another running back. So
you might be able to soften that to a third, and you give him a Rashad White or pick a back. Now, here's what I wanted to ask you. They come to you and say, we'll do the trade. 1 first, a second from next year, and Bucky.
No. Okay. I can't pull the trigger with Bucky because Bucky is the future, and we've seen what Rashad is. And
it gets tough because I'm like, it's a running back. You can replace running backs, but this is the first time we've had and this is where I get hard with it because I'm right, but I'm also wrong because we haven't had a running back like that in such a long time. Yeah, the last time somebody rushed like that, his name was Doug Martin, and that was 2016 or maybe 2015.
2015. That was a decade ago, and he's right. So no, you can't have Bucky. You can't have Bucky because now here's the thing: if
you rather go fuck it, I'll give you 2 firsts, and I'll give you a third and Rashad.
I'll give you Rashad, and I'll fucking give you Dean. I'll give you Dean because they're gonna need defense. But you see what I'm saying? Because we do our nasty. You just said it. Jason Light does his nasty grind in the second, third, fourth, and fifth round. That's where he turns gems into giants. So I'm not worried about that. And we just said it. If you have Crosby or fucking Myles Garrett, now all we would need to draft is an average corner and an average safety. We don't always, that's my word, average, Slick, because when you got other great players already in there, you don't need to get always the most superstar players. You get the guys that are good to do the job. So yes, you can't have Bucky, but I will be willing to give you Rashad White, and I'll give you somebody else on defense. I'll give you Dean, because again, Dean might work out for them. That might be something. He just might not work in Tampa. Hell,
I think the injury issues were probably one of the bigger things for him, and I'm not going to give him a pass, but I'm just saying I've got an eye on that. You know what I mean?
I feel you. So yeah, but now you can't have Bucky. I'm so sorry. I'd be like, you can't have Bucky because here's my thing: if I were to give up Bucky, then the 2 first rounds are off the table. At that
You
point,
gotta go first round, second round.
yeah, that's exactly first round, second round. That's it. I'd be like, if I give you
So
Bucky,
basically what you're saying is Bucky's played himself as a first round talent.
oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
The guy's
Okay. No,
22 years old. Oh yeah, 22 years old. Hell no. I like that though. You were slick because that was a good one, slick, because you caught me off that one. That I balled my fist up on that one. Bucky is here to stay. Shit. You said Bucky, well, we need Bucky. I'd be like,
but that's what I'm saying is you gotta. That might be a part of the conversation. You might go, okay, well, you've got to lessen the slap for that because that guy we got a special dude.
Yeah, no, you can't do that. The guy
and that's where I think that's where the negotiation happens, and they'll go, okay, well, we'll go with Rashad White, or they'll go, okay, we'll go with that, and we'll reduce the picks. I think they'll want the picks because I think everyone believes that they can go find the next Rashad White. Everyone believes that they can go and use a third rounder or a second rounder.
Shit, I would be willing to say, okay, if you need another back, I'll give you Rashad and Sean Tucker. Boom. We can find a Sean Tucker. We can find a Rashad White. Just leave Bucky out of this. Bucky is like, leave Bucky alone. Like, you don't talk to Bucky, he's ours. So ain't no cold shit. All right, but the last one, because we're gonna wrap this bad boy up. Okay. Hendrickson, what are you doing, GM?
See, the only problem I have with Hendrickson, I don't know what scheme he plays in. He looks quite big. And I don't know if he's a defensive end or a guy you could probably put at linebacker, which is what we need. We need an edge rusher. That's where I get a bit confused with him. But if he could play both, I'm probably going down the route of I'd probably give up the same as I give it for Myles Garrett. He's a little bit older, isn't he, as well?
I was about to say, Hendrickson's a little older. You could get away with giving up a second and a player for him. We wouldn't have to give him.
I think you might have to give him a first and a player, though.
You think so? I mean, he's up there, though. He's because people forget he was the star with the Saints. And then he went. So I think you could get away with a second. You can get away with a second and a player. Or a second.
The only reason I say this, if he was being shopped, I agree. But the problem is his price is higher because we're asking for him.
Yes.
That's where they can go first round pick. Whereas if they're actively trying, the thing is, one of them's in this scenario, one of them's requested a trade. I believe there's been murmurings that Crosby's not 100% happy, but it's murmurings. It's not. He's not actually publicly said, "I want out. I want to play for a contender. I'm done. Whatever." And then the other guy, I've not heard a damn thing. So it's like the difficulty of landing these guys. Like you might find Hendrick be more expensive than Garrett just because they don't want to get rid of him. Right.
Okay, I agree with you. Now, you know what? My last thing that I'll say on this, Slick, on the whole thing, this is my dream. If they do this, this is how I know Bose is in on it, and he might get me to say something nice about him. If we get all three if one of those three, here's where I go, okay, he put his balls on the table and said, fuck this, I'm going out like a G. You get Khalil Mack in there and you structure it somehow. So imagine that, Slick. We get one of those three between Garrett, Crosby, or Hendrickson, and then we say, Khalil Mack, you're on here too. Khalil is a free agent now, and he's not going to be that expensive. The Bucs are a contending team. Slick, imagine one of those three, and Khalil Mack is there because now you can have him. I want, in my personal opinion, Slick, I want somebody to start over Yaya because I want him to have that fire again and work harder. That's just me. I think he regressed this season. I can't say for the entire reasons why, because that'll be a whole nother conversation. But imagine a Khalil Mack on your roster. Now we got nasty.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think you got to bring in a veteran free agent that's going to try and do the job anyway, and then you use the draft pick to try and pick somebody else up.
Yep.
Who could follow in the footsteps or potentially take over, right? Because we still got Chris Braswell, we still got Yaya Diaby. So if you bring in it, you bring in a Mac. It doesn't matter if you overpay a little bit, even if it's a 2-year deal. So you front load the contract that he gets paid really well in the first year, not so great in the second year, that you could potentially out, or that you just have him on the team for a year, another year, and then go about your business because it's only 2 years. And then he serves as like an example. Like that's why part of me wouldn't be opposed to having Shaq back. I would just not want to spend any money. If he's willing to come back for what he literally came back last year, cool. He can come back, no problem.
Right.
But we don't want to spend big money because he's at the end of his career. He's pretty much at the end of his career, but he might be able to show how to be a pro.
Right, and he can mentor and teach the technique. So I think we're on to something, because that's what we want. At the end of the day, we know, Buck fans, we're out here saying it. This is the time to swing. This is your last chance, Bowles. Go out there and go out with a fucking bang. And we'll talk about what we can do in the draft, guys. That'll be a topic for another time, though, because I got some pieces slick and I'm gonna run them by you, and you'll be happy because you'll feel a little giddy. A couple of them are from Florida State. I can't believe I'm looking at this, but I saw it and I was like, ooh, this person would be good under Bowles. So on that note, I'm going to be out, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Check my YouTube channel. It's about Bucking Time. TikTok, AJ Turnham. I talk shit and start shit all the time. Eagles fans don't like me. I don't like them back either. So get some Eagle fans in here to talk shit, and I'm going to cook them. And I'll talk about football anyway. And I keep saying this. I'm going to stand on this. Aaron Donald is not a top 10 defensive player of all time. I got 15 people better than him. So that's a whole nother conversation. But, guys, show your support for Coach Slick. Slick, try to send me some highlights of your team, because if you don't mind.
I'm in preseason right now, dude. That'll be like April.
Cool. Well, when you do that, I'm going to promote you, because, again, guys, we want Coach Slick to get hit. Remember, I got a YouTube channel said, give Coach Slick an opportunity. His accolades speak for himself. But as always, Slick, take care of yourself, my brother, and everybody else out there. Go Bucks. Bowles.
Go Bucks, brother.
It's the Super Bowl or your ass.
Super Bowl or your ass.
Super Bowl or your ass. Be easy.
Easy, bro. I'll catch you soon. Guys, that's the end of the show. And as everyone has stated, that I am now back into football. We're in week 2, so we'll be hitting week 3 this week. We're just going for our coverages. For me, it's just getting the new guys up to scratch. We've had a few new transfers come through from other teams, and just trying to get everyone up to the same level as they were last year. And then you're just pushing the older guys that are hopefully making the next step up in this team. So that's basically what we're looking at. A few new coverages to put in, a few man principles, to read and that kind of stuff. So we're just looking to try and sharpen up these guys and get them ready for game day, find out who the starting 4 are on DB, and be ready to rock and roll when it comes to game day. We got a couple of preseason games booked up, so we'll be going up against my old nemesis, which is Hereford Stampede. The last time we practiced, we did the joint practice, and we absolutely smoked the shit out of them. We camped them on our fucking 5-yard line, and they couldn't score on 4 tries. Yeah, you couldn't get it done. We were just that good, and I reveled in it because I hated them, because they were an old division rival for when I played and coached when I first started coaching when I was with a different team, which was Worcester. So, other than that, I hope everyone enjoys the Super Bowl. We are not getting Cooper Kupp. I mean, I could be wrong, but I just don't see it. I don't see any upside in going after Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp is an injury-prone, overpaid player. Period. Point blank, I don't see anything. I would rather pay what we'd end up paying him. I'd just pay it to Godwin. I want guys who want to be here. He doesn't want to be here. He wants to be in LA. He just can't be. And I just don't rate him as much, if truth be told. He had one great year. He is the epitome of a party popper. Popped off. That's it. Let's move the fuck on. Guys, without further ado, thanks for tuning in. And I hope to see you all soon on the next Aftermath, where we'll be breaking down Super Bowl and talking some draft picks. All about the draft now and free agency. Hopefully, this Tampa Bay Buccaneer team can get stronger, faster, and nastier, ready for your 2025. This is where we will go for our 5th division crown. You get 5? You know what? I know we did that 5. You get 5? You will have the most division crown streak in history of the NFC South. So we'll take that when it's offered. Right now, we are dead joint with the Saints, who also have 4. It's time to reclaim the crown, to get that crown, and control the South. Bucs on me, Bucs on 3. 1, 2, 3. Go Bucs!